Wow, this is a new cool car. What kind is it?
It's a Tesla, an electric car.
How was it invented?
Ask Shreyas, he knows everything.
Yes.
In the 1850s, people got around by horse carriage. These horses came in no short amount, and in New York, there was a horse for every 17 people. That's a lot of horses, and the more horses, the more trouble. Horse manure was everywhere, and the horses rapidly produced 5 million pounds of it per day. When horses died on the roads, horse bodies accumulated because no one cleaned them up. Horse poo mixed with rainwater and dead carcasses caused sludge, which smelled and looked disgusting. Houses at the time, in places like San Francisco, had to specially be designed to counter these horse problems. Horses also needed human food, which means less food for humans and increased prices for food. Horses also created gridlock in traffic, and unlike the cars of today, could not always be tamed by their owners, causing quite a few pedestrian deaths. Having these problems with horses, people's main mean of transport was problematic, because soon cities were going to be filled to the brim with stinky, intoxicating horse manure. As a result of all these horse problems, engineers decided to create a new mean of transport, one that didn't run on food and didn't create horrible waste. It became clear that this transportation method would need to be a non-living machine, and thus came the invention of the motorized gasoline vehicle. In 1886, a German engineer named Carl Benz, later founder of Mercedes, filed a patent for the first motorized carriage. Engineers kept developing more and more motorized vehicles, and in the early 1900s, these cars became mass-produced and people started buying them rapidly. There was less gridlock, more food, cheaper insurance costs, less traffic accidents, and cleaner cities as a result of these new vehicles. However, nowadays, we are realizing that gasoline-powered vehicles that was once a miracle are now not that good. They pollute our environment, which is what is pushing scientists to create newer, hybrid, and electric cars.
Around the 1990s, electric cars were introduced to stop the problems that gasoline-powered cars caused. These problems included air quality issues, because regular cars emitted a significant amount of carbon dioxide and other gases that are harmful to the environment. Over time, as more cars were bought, the carbon dioxide emission levels grew higher and higher. Electric cars put a stop to the carbon dioxide emissions. Certain liquids in car batteries were also very dangerous for the environment, if a leak occurred. That is, in an electric car, these chemicals in the batteries did not exist, and the fuel source was electric. That meant little or no direct emissions from the car itself. This was better for the environment than using a greenhouse gas as a fuel source. While the electric car does seem like a great alternative, it does have its own downsides. For one, having no direct emissions doesn't mean it uses no ungreen methods of energy production. The car runs on electricity, and electricity has many different manners of production, some of them being solar, wind, and hydroelectricity. While those are all clean and green, they're expensive, resulting in less of those manners of production actually being used. In fact, one of the most common ways of producing electricity in India and the world is by burning coal, an extremely bad for the environment manner of electricity production. Another downside of electric cars is that they have an extremely high voltage wiring, which creates a pretty significant safety hazard. The final reason why electric cars may not be optimal is the cost. Hybrid or electric cars cost a significant amount more than a regular gasoline car, and to a lot of people, cost is more important than about keeping the environment clean, or for that matter, anything else, really. All this makes us wonder what could come next to finally bring that push to solve the automobile fuel source problem, and when that comes out, it'll have its own array of benefits and problems to deal with. What will they be?